Taylor Swift is having bad blood with Blake Lively. She was recorded saying, "I am not your dragon." Looks like Taylor Swift feels like she was used by Blake Lively in her war with Justin Baldoni. She resents Blake calling her one of her dragons and leveraging her name. If my friend did that to me, I would certainly hold it against them. It is a bad look. That's the kind of thing where you call your friend and go, "Hey, I'm in trouble. I need help. I need backup." You don't do that without talking to them. People are putting snake emojis. Taylor hates snakes. Kim Kardashian, all these people who manipulate her, she doesn't want that in her life. People who are using her. She feels like Blake was leveraging her name. As we reported, there was a critical meeting at Blake and Ryan's new penthouse with Justin to discuss a scene that Blake had rewritten for It Ends With Us. Justin has said the meeting got superheated, and he felt ambushed because Ryan and Taylor showed up. But a well-connected source close to Taylor tells TMZ that Taylor came to Blake's apartment at the time Blake told her to, not knowing anyone else would be there. In other words, Taylor had no idea there'd be a meeting going on, and I wonder if Taylor knows all this editing nonsense of Blake refusing to let Justin make his movie. If this is real, Blake Lively, you deserve all of this. This is a reckoning she needs to hear. This isn't bullying. This isn't harassment. This is accountability, girl. So Taylor had no idea there'd be a meeting there. We've heard that before. But sources go on to say Justin was about to leave after the 2-hour meeting when Taylor walked in. She was introduced to him for the first and only time. We're told all Taylor said to Justin was how excited she was to see the movie because he was her friend's boss. Our sources say Taylor believes Blake timed her meeting with Justin so Taylor would arrive before he left. Moreover, she is baffled by Blake later characterizing her as her dragon. The source adds, "It's weird to say that about a friend." And yes, it is, 100%. If you ever get around to watching Game of Thrones, you'll appreciate the Khaleesi reference, which, by the way, she's not a good guy in the show. She's a bad guy. She's amazing up until the last season, and I reject the last season. Spoiler alert, because the last season kind of does suck. She turns into a psychopath. I happen to have a few dragons, for better or worse, but usually for better, because my dragons also protect those I fight for. So really, we all benefit from those gorgeous monsters of mine. You will too, I can promise you. That is so manipulative and shady and absolutely leveraging her relationship with Taylor Swift. It's questionable at minimum, and I would not be surprised if Taylor was upset about that. One of the things I've said throughout this whole thing that I cannot reconcile with Taylor is that she has been such an advocate for people having creative control of their own projects, for owning their own projects, taking back power from the industry giants that take away artists' work. I can't see her being the person that looks at a project like this, understands how passionate Justin is about it, and goes, "Oh yeah, Blake, take it." It doesn't add up. Well, there's more. Sources say Taylor is also learning that Blake has been inappropriately leveraging her name for a long time, like telling a young actress that Taylor cast her, which simply did not happen. TMZ dropped a new podcast, Two Angry Men, in which Harvey asked Justin's lawyer, Brian, about the subpoenaing of Taylor. It was easy to read between the lines. One thing is clear. Taylor feels used. A huge falling out. Taylor is godmother to one of Ryan and Blake's kids. This deposition of Taylor Swift is like a nightmare for her. It's got to be a nightmare for Blake and Ryan. No one wants Taylor involved in this. I'm sure the last thing they're going to want is Taylor Swift getting subpoenaed. And now they have to go through her stuff. That costs her legally. And now she's in this mess. For what? And it really brings up a lot more questions when it comes to the things Blake has said and claimed. That's been one of the things I've been stuck on, reading these text messages of her, talking about doing the rooftop scene, saying she wants to be taken more seriously, that she wants to get her hands all over the project and everything else. And then she gets on the red carpet and tells a reporter that Ryan was the one who wrote it. I don't know what to believe from her anymore. And that's part of my issue here. I feel like the name dropping happens when it's beneficial. And I wonder how much Taylor may have been subject to that. And it also looks like she might be using Ryan too. Because did Ryan even write the scene? Who knows at this point? But I don't know. The thing she literally fought for, wrote, and was so proud of in all these texts. And then, on a carpet, she just says, Ryan wrote the scene. Because she thinks that's going to help the movie's promotional sake. So she's leveraging Ryan, she's leveraging Taylor. All of this to sell her Betty Boos and her Betty Browns, and now it's Justin's fault that it all failed? No, girl, it's your fault. And look, there is a part of me that wonders, is this damage control on Taylor's side? Are they trying to, distance themselves without ever admitting it? I'll say this. This Sunday is the opportunity of a lifetime for Taylor Swift to stand by her girl Blake, if she's telling the truth. If she's telling the truth, and there's evidence, and Taylor knows it, and Taylor witnessed it, why not bring her to the Super Bowl like she did last year? Why not post something and just support? Why not be out there and make it very clear that you support your friend? At this point, there's so much talk and rumor. Taylor has been very instrumental in her own cases of SH, right? She won that dollar lawsuit. The silence here is deafening. And honestly, a part of me just feels bad for Taylor in the sense that this shouldn't be her problem at the end of the day. If what this article is saying is true, it really sucks that she's being dragged into it. And she's got enough going on right now as it is. She has her own empire she's dealing with, and it's all just very unfortunate and it's sad. But then again, Taylor doesn't comment a lot on stuff like this. A lot of the time it comes out in her music, like in her song Reputation. There will be no explanation. There will just be reputation, period. It was all going to come out through her music. And a lot of that has, I think, remained true over the years. I'm sure she'd like to be excluded from this narrative, though. Do you think there's a version of this where Taylor was actually used and was not as involved as Blake is claiming? Is that a potential truth to this story? I want to hear your thoughts.